There comes a time when you have to stop looking in the rearview mirror and start focusing on where God is taking you. Holding on to the past will keep you stuck in a place you were never meant to stay. You can't move forward if you're still holding on to what was. Too many people are dragging around the weight of past mistakes, past hurts, past disappointments. But God is saying, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Isaiah 43:18-19. You can't receive the new when your hands are full of the old. You can't step into your destiny if you're still living in your history. The enemy wants to keep reminding you of what went wrong, who hurt you, how you failed. He knows that as long as you're looking backward, you won't see the opportunities God has placed ahead of you. But today is the day to break free. Today is the day to let go. Look at Joseph. He had every reason to stay bitter. His own brothers betrayed him, threw him into a pit, sold him into slavery. He was falsely accused, imprisoned for years for a crime he didn't commit. If anyone had the right to stay stuck in the past, it was Joseph. But he refused to let the pain of yesterday define his tomorrow. Instead of dwelling on the betrayal, he held on to the promise. Instead of letting bitterness take root, he chose to trust God. And because he let go, God took him from the prison to the palace. One moment he was in chains, the next he was second in command over all of Egypt. If Joseph had stayed focused on the pain, he would have missed the promotion. If he had clung to resentment, he would have never stepped into his destiny. His story teaches us that what was meant for harm, God can use for good. Genesis 50:20. But you have to be willing to let go. Maybe you've been hurt, betrayed, overlooked. Maybe you've made mistakes, taken wrong turns. But you are not your past. God is bigger than your failures, stronger than your regrets, greater than your disappointments. His grace is more powerful than your worst mistake. Philippians 3:13-14 says, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. Notice, Paul didn't say, I remember everything that went wrong and I replay my failures every night. No, he said, I forget what's behind. That means he made a choice to let go. Letting go isn't always easy. Sometimes it feels like if you release the pain, the disappointment, the injustice, you're saying it didn't matter. But letting go doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means you refuse to let it hold you back any longer. Some people are still bitter over what happened 10 years ago, still angry over what they lost, still hurt over who walked away. But as long as you hold on to the past, you're giving it power over your present. You're letting what was steal what is. It's time to release it. Release the bitterness. Release the shame. Release the regret. What's ahead of you is far greater than what's behind you. You serve a God who restores, who redeems, who makes all things new. When you let go, you make room for the blessings God has been waiting to pour into your life. When you release the past, you open the door for new joy, new peace, new opportunities. Isaiah 61:3 says, He will give you beauty for ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. But you have to be willing to trade your ashes for His beauty. You have to be willing to let go of the past to receive what's ahead. God is saying, I have new relationships, new dreams, new levels of favor waiting for you, but you can't step into them if you're still holding on to what hurt you. Joseph could have spent his life bitter, but he chose better. He could have let resentment define him, but he chose to let God refine him. And because he let go, he stepped into a future beyond his wildest dreams. What about you? Are you still holding on to what God has asked you to release? Are you still looking back when He's calling you forward? Today is your day to let it go. Release the pain, the disappointment, the failure. Your best days are still ahead. God is doing a new thing. It's time to stop looking behind and start pressing toward the future He has prepared for you. Let it go. Walk into the new, and watch how God takes you further than you ever imagined.